So talk us through these cup wins, because we've spoken about this one.
That was a win we lost.
Porth Call. So your finalists there.
So if we go for these two first, so we got to Christmas, mate, and we were well adrift. I think we lost the Club Cymru like the last game before Christmas, and I think we felt like 8 points behind them, and they had 2 games in hand. And I think we had a couple of socials over here over Christmas. And then from Christmas onwards, I think we won every game from Christmas till the end of the season.
So what you're saying is, if you're having a bad time, just get pissed right up together.
I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is a massive part of...
I think it's huge. I was at a social with Lanrumney on Saturday, right? And like this will shock people from our generations now, right? Free bar.
Yeah.
Half the players were there for a bit.
Mate, this place was like a fucking zoo.
Yeah.
I know.
From about 8 o'clock, there was about 12 of us. Free bar, mind.
I talk about it a lot. Is the whole thing about the ethos of a club, is your community, your boys are all back in here, and they'll be here till kick-out time. There's a reason why teams like the Dracs, Lancet Major, teams like that have all got that community feel where you have
a lot of Valley teams as well.
The Valley teams,
the of the world.
Do you know what? I always say that. Like, I enjoy going to places like that because it's proper like, and you never have the reason you have easy games when you go up to Anashia and Canberra and places like that is because they're all fighting for fucking each other.
It's the reason that no matter who we took in at Porth, and look, we had a good team in our second season at Porth. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a Valley's team.
No.
When the manager and the coaches and half the players at least are not even from the Valleys, let alone that Valley. So they're not doing the things that all the other Valley clubs are doing in terms of bonding and stuff like that.
It's the community as well, though. Like, you're in here, you know, you're a legend in these parts. There's people here who'll come and watch you play.
Yeah.
Because you're part of it, you're accessible on a Saturday. They want to see the success that you guys put on the pitch and come back in here. Teams that go in, have a pint, fuck off.
Yeah.
People go, oh, who's playing centre half today? Oh, who's that? There's no affinity, there's no identity, there's nothing.
It's like you said, like, mate, we had from 2015 to 2000 just before COVID, and then the first year back in the Ardell, like, we would be in here all night.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'd come in here after a game or an away game, and at least 60% of the team are here till the death. Okay. We'd end up back at Denner's. Denner used to live on the corner. We'd all end up back at Denner's.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It was mad.
So you mean Lee Denner's house now? Yeah. Because that sounds like a pub called Denner's.
Yeah, Lee Denner's house. But mate, that's what it was like. It was like, and the togetherness we had, like Maxie was the ringleader of it all. Do you know what I mean? He was always out.
Of course.
And it was just show on a picture.
Yeah.
You're in here together. When you're going away to Anishia and you're going to places like that, you've got that extra 5% where you'll give it for each other.
And these over here, like the stewards and that, so the landlady there, Kerry, she has, ever since she's taken over, she has known it to be like that, where we're here.
Okay.
Mate, honestly, we were spending like £1,500 a night, two grand a night on a Saturday. Yeah. If we did have a game called off, they'd be devastated because they're losing out on that. Yeah. But then the second year in the Ardell, when Cahill took over and a lot of our players left and we had like a scratch squad, like a put together squad, she was like, she couldn't believe it. She was like, what's going on? I was like, Kev, this is the norm. In Welsh League football, this is 80%, this is the norm. Yeah. I said, it's only like, it's only what we've had is basically against the norm, basically.
If anyone's wondering why we're all looking towards the camera, she's actually just walked in with a massive dog. So I had a bit of a twitch on. Right, I'm just.
It is a bird. Yeah, so like 70%, 75%, probably more. They'll go there, they'll have a Coke, a pint, and then they'll fuck off. Right. Whereas here, honestly, mate, we were spending. I was on the committee here for a bit, and you look at the sheets, and like we were spending 1,500, £2,000 a night.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What's it like now then? Because it's not necessarily like an absolutely local team now. What's it like in here now? Is this sort of somewhere in between?
It's not. Yeah. No, in my opinion, no. But like they're doing. Do you know what I mean? They're doing it on the pitch, the boys, isn't they? Do you know what I mean? To be fair.
And I don't think it's certainly the reason I asked the question.
It's not the same.
Not through any like criticism of anyone doing it, because I've just told you what it's like at Llanrumney, and I just think they're made different now.
It's not a criticism, and one thing that sticks with me is one of my mates. Like the chairman would always put on a bus trip, right, for the furthest away game.
Yeah.
So it would always tend to be Cwmaman or something like that, or Pontardawy. So they played South Gower, and they had a last-minute winner. Like we had a last-minute winner, Cwmaman, mate, a couple of years ago, and the fucking bus was carnage coming home. I think my brother actually scored the winner. The bus was fucking carnage. Yeah. Spoke to my mate. He said he was expecting it. He went to South Gower's fucking clubhouse, bought himself 6 bottles for the way home. He said, no, one of them was drinking.
It's and funny,
it's not a criticism, mate.
Pencoed, where I'm coaching now, they are what you describe, and just moved home this season, so it's round the corner from our club. Yeah. And people are now going to watch, even in the pouring rain, and I mean pouring rain. There's a decent following there for the team in Tier 4. And then you go back round to the clubhouse afterwards, happy hour 3 till 6 every Saturday. And there is that, right? And why I was so shocked with that free bar thing Saturday is I've got used to these boys, and they are all pretty together, and they are all together for a good while on a Saturday. If you chucked a free bar on for them, there'd be hospitalisations. I was back in the bar at Llanrumney at 6 o'clock. I was thinking, I'll be standing room only in here now. I just walked straight in, sat down in a seat. I couldn't believe that it wasn't like wall to wall in there. Yeah, but when you look at the age profile of the average player at Llanrumney now, they're young. They're not asked. They don't care if it's free. They don't want to do it.
No, you're right, mate.
Nice to have the invite though.
It's club officials only, bud.
We talk about like
players and officials.
Talk about the Sundays, isn't it? So we played from the Gunners. So the Gunners said to us when we first started, every trophy you win, there'll be a free barrel of beer.
Right.
For that. So if you had a cup final and you won, come back, there's a free barrel there.
Yeah.
But obviously we won the treble 3 years running.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Stuff, and Di Reese used to do it over here. Di Reese's trick was giving everyone penny washers. Okay. So like he'd go and buy 200 penny washers. And every penny washer behind the bar, you'd settle a bill at the end of the day. Innit?
Okay.
It wasn't long before we all cottoned on, innit? We all
buy
fucking penny washers. You'd get billed in for about £400. He's like, I only gave out 200 penny washers.
That's genius.
But yeah, like Di, like this club probably. Well, there's plenty of people who this club wouldn't be around if they weren't as committed as they were, but Di's probably...
Yeah. I think Di was managing when I was playing.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah,
2016, 2006.
Yeah, he would have been.
What, so when did you decide that's enough? Was there a moment, or was it...
I'll be honest, remember we played for Thomas in the cup final?
Yeah.
I said to Tom McLean, Payno, I said, if we win tonight, that's it for me. Like, that'll be it for me, I'll be honest.
Why if you win? Was it important to finish on a high?
Just good way to go out on a high. Like, as it was, I went out on a low kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So, but I just thought, win this. I was struggling because my boy was in the academy at Swansea, so it was like, I was going up there on Saturdays, and I knew that his fixture thing the following year, I was going to be getting back at like 2, half 2, and I knew it was going. I knew it was just going to be a mess. And the type of player, I'm not the type of person to go to a fucking gym and keep myself... I don't keep myself fit out of football. The only way I stay fit was playing every week. Playing 90 minutes every week, and that was enough for me to get through games, do you know what I mean? And it started off, and I was turning up, and I was coming on at half-time, and I shouldn't have bothered. I was going to jack it in. Then we lost players, so I didn't want to leave the club in the shit. And then after Christmas, then I had a chat with Cahill, and I was like, look, I can commit now. From Christmas onwards, I can commit. And then played a game against Lewcoed and done my knee. And I came back about 4 weeks later, played then to the end of the season, and then me and him had a big ding-dong then, 2 games before the end. And the club,
what was
Mark Cahill.
That one used to manage Dennis Powis?
Yeah. The club stayed up in the end.
Do you know what? I don't know how I've missed that, because I always keep an eye on it. I didn't realise Mark had...
He took over. Eggy, after the cup final, Eggy decided with work commitments he couldn't carry on. He could only be bit part. So they brought Cahill in. I was asked who I thought should have come in. And because I knew Tom McLean, Noisy, and a few other players were leaving to go to Goitra. Clayton Farrow was leaving. I knew that we needed a rebuild, pretty much. And I said, the only person you can probably get for that is Nana, because he will bring in anyone. Everyone he takes the core of boys with him, doesn't he? I said,
I think he's one of the best. He's one of the best at signing players I've ever seen.
Yeah. Or I said maybe Dean Morris, and they went with Cahill. They said it's already sorted. We got this guy Cahill.
How did that come about? Has he got a link with the club, or?
I think it was through Paul Jennings.
Right.
I think he knows Paul, and I think it was through.
Do you remember that season up against him when he was Dennis manager? We were across the Caerau.
Yeah.
I'd never encountered him because he was obviously a good coach, very well respected coach down at the City with the academy at the time. Everyone that I spoke to came as a coach all rated him, but I think it was in his apparently it was in his development plan or something at the time that he needed to go out and manage a senior team at a reasonable level. And he turned Dennis around quite well actually that year in terms of he took over not a very good team because it had been on the slide ever since we nearly won the league a few years earlier. And I remember, because of my association with Dennis, we kind of spoken to each other a couple of times about whatever. Anyway, so we're playing them down there. And we've played against them at home already. And I hand him the team sheet. Because you remember that thing, you used to have to write the team sheet and hand it to the opposition. And then, so we swap it. And he took it and he went, thank you, like that. And he turns away, he said, not remotely interested on anything he's written on there, and handed it to someone else.
Oh.
I thought, you'll wait. Right?
Do you know what it is?
And the other thing, I had a couple of mates playing in that still at the club. And he actually, bearing in mind now, he's never managed in the Welsh League before this season.
Yeah.
And he said, and I quote, we've got to go up this season, but it was the season Tom Pentra won the league unbeaten in Division 2. Yeah. And then it was Cumberland Institute with, what was the winger's name?
Trailer.
Trailer playing front. Trailer. They finished second. And then it was us and Porth for third. But for a long time, Dennis Powis were in the race with us. And early in the season, he said in front of the whole changing room, we've got this and that, blah, 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 and in me, we have got the most tactically astute manager in this league. And I thought, that's some statement for someone who's managed 10 games in the Welsh League. So it was after those two moments, I was like, have you seen that documentary, The Last Dance, about the Chicago Bulls, and Michael Jordan would just find a little reason to be like, right, you just motivated me. That, I don't know why, but it narked me. Because I certainly didn't think I was the most tactically astute in the league. It was just like, it was almost who's this Johnny come lately?
I kind of see I can see what you're saying.
But he did do a good job.
When he came in.
I always have to qualify that. Like when I had a little dig at Prangers earlier, I always have to say, but he was a good player. and he did do a very good job with Dennis. But I didn't realise that he'd been here.
It was difficult for me. I was club captain, so it was difficult because obviously my boy came first. So
yeah, of course.
I wasn't as committed as well. I was always 100%. I was always 100% all in.
Yeah.
And this was like the first time. It was difficult for me, and I could understand it being difficult for him at first. But we kind of like started to build a relationship, and then he was like, I don't know, mate. It was weird. Like I can remember we had a really good run, and I was back in the team, and then we went on a couple of games where we'd lost, and we played Treharris over here. That was my last ever game. Played Treharris over here, Nana's Treharris, and they beat us 4-3. And then he rang me later on that night, and like, gave me a load of like having a chat and what he was thinking of doing for the Saturday against Port Talbot. And I was like, yeah, well, do what you think, blah, 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 blah. Then he spoke to me the next day, and he told me the team for the Saturday. And I was like, yeah, no worries. And then the Friday night, my mate Josh Payne, he had broken his leg, so they invited him into the management group to kind of like get his thoughts on the matter as well. And he kind of like told me that I was on the bench on the Saturday when I'd spoken to him the day before and I was starting. So I was like, this is weird. So anyway, I left it, driving to Swansea to take my boy to football, and he said, he rang me. Everything okay? Yeah. I said, yeah. He said, going to put you on the bench today. And I was like, well, that's changed from fucking like 48 hours ago. And in the end, mate, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I came back. I came back from Swansea, pulled up. Like we were always going to beat Port Talbot that day, no matter who played.
They were on their ass,
They were fucked.
Yeah.
They were gone.
Yeah.
We were always going to beat them, no matter who played. And I just thought, you know what, I ain't playing. And I shouldn't have, because that's one thing I fucking hate in people.
Do you know what? I can.
But it was a few.
I
One
see both sides,
done it.
because I've been a player and I've been a manager. But do you know the lesson in there for anyone that's
just be honest,
not been a manager for long or is going to be a manager in the future, whatever? Fucking hell, never promise a player anything.
But it wasn't just me. There'd been a few of the boys had come to me in the week leading up to it, saying, like, he told me I was playing tomorrow, today, and I'm on the bench, and I'm like.
It's a slippery slope.
And I'm like, it was early in Bridgie's days as a manager at Llanrumney.
Yeah.
He used to fall foul to this, right? And I used to have murder with him, so this wouldn't be a shock if he's listening to this. But I remember the one day he didn't bring Stephen Mason, right, as sub. And he turned to him and he went, "You'll start next week." To try and make Macy feel better in that moment. We all know he's not starting next week, but you know when he doesn't, he's coming for you now. And he was the worst for that, Bridgie, back then. And I think he learned quite quickly
this is the one
not
thing,
to promise anyone anything.
You know when, like...
You're allowed to change your mind, by the way. But once I've promised you something, that's it's a nightmare.
This is one thing, like, you know, like, we play Saturday, yeah?
Yeah, generally.
You know when they say, as a cup game, I'm going to arrest you Saturday? No.
Yeah.
Because... I'm
working all week.
What if it gets called off next week?
I know.
I don't play for 2 weeks. I ain't going running. I'm not going running.
Yeah.
We had it at the Drax with Maxi. We had a good squad, and he was like, I think he was thinking about it rotating. So we played first game of the season, Sully. We beat them like 7-0. Then on the Tuesday night we played. They're now Caerau Athletic, but they used to be called Dynamo Abba, and they were always one of our toughest games. And we wiped the floor with them 6-2. Saturday, he rests me, Tom McLean, Brad Stubbs, 2 others against the Ely Rangers at home. Beat them 5-2. But on the Tuesday night, we're playing Canton Libs. And then Maxie's wondering why us 5 who not played Saturday were all a little bit sluggish. And I was like, the reason we're all fucking sluggish is because
it's that
we don't fucking play Saturday. Yeah. I want to play every fucking minute of every game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he quickly... changed then from that, and he was
it's
like,
one of those things that comes off TV.
Yeah.
Football, I think, though. You know, we go on about it all the time. This shit of goalkeepers and centre halves being on the ball all the time in like tier 5 of Welsh football because they've seen it on the telly. I think rotating and changing teams for cups and all that all came in the Ferguson era because that's what Ferguson used to do in the cups and rotate and all of that. fucking hell, you're training for an hour and a half once a week and playing on a Saturday. That's how you get at match fitness. It's not like in the pros where right, you didn't play today, so you're in tomorrow running.
Yeah, you go and run it.
And the thing is,
you didn't play Saturday. You play instead of him. But then you score fucking 4 on Saturday.
Yeah,
then you've got and you want him back in the following week.
I've had that. I say, fuck. You're delighted for the kid who haven't had a game, but you're thinking, oh no,
I got to play him next week. And generally, you do it in a cup match where you probably think you're going to win anyway.
Do you know where I learned that? I started coaching quite young because of ankles and stuff, right? And I had Sam Small as a junior at Marlborough Sports, but I also had
played with him at
Phil
Taffs.
Campbell. You'd know Phil Campbell probably.
Yeah.
And who else do we have as strikers?
He went in goals towards the end, Phil Campbell, didn't he?
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably scored my best ever goal against him on a Sunday.
I'm telling you now, Phil Campbell should have been a professional footballer.
Really?
That's how good he was.
Mate, he was a phenomenal footballer as a kid.
He should have been a professional footballer, number 9, right? But, you know, beers and everything else became more important to him, right? No problem. But honestly, he was, at 14, he was outstanding, right? But we had Phil Campbell and Chrissy Davis.
Yeah.
But we had Sam Small as well. And Sam Small, as you know, because you went on to play with him, he grew massively, right? But Sam was always a very good goal scorer, a very good finisher. And Sam would get lots of games for us because we'd win most weeks quite easy. So I'd rest Phil Campbell for this vein and we'd win 18-0.
Yeah.
And Sam Small would bang 5 in. And I'd be like, giving myself a problem now next week because we're playing the team second in the league. Oh my God, what a nightmare. So I learned quite early not to do that with forwards that might score goals.
No, start with your strongest and then whip them off after 70 minutes.
I get it. I do get it in a certain way because you know if you've got players like. But then I've always went like when Maxie done this when we had a squad of like 18, mate, and I said it's too much. I said, if you've got 14, 15 boys, you know are going to be there.
If they're committed,
they're going to be there every week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just deal with it. If for argument's sake, you've got 2 injured, 2 suspended, just drag one of the youth in. It's not going to happen very often. You cause yourself more headaches than you.
It's harder nowadays. I genuinely think you need about 22 players nowadays to run an 11-a-side football team.
Well, I've said to you, haven't I?
Commitment is horrendous.
I run my boys under 15s team, right?
Yeah.
I had 24 players registered last year, and I had to sit all the players, all the parents down and go, I can only name 16. And I'd be having some of the other parents saying to me, "Are you resting this week? Are you done?" I'm like, my squad's my squad. And now I've got it to 17 players. But it was a case of going like, I might have to leave him out, who's my second best left back and my second best right back. I bring 2 kids in who'll play 15 minutes, and then I can take them back out again and put them back in again.
And part of the reason for that, though, is in a minute, that second best left back and our second best right back, they're both going to go on the same skiing trip together, along with the centre midfielder and the centre half. So you've got to maintain this.
I always remember
squad.
Like you said about, I used to hate missing football. Back then, I'd have a phone call off my dad's on a Friday night, 6, 7 o'clock. Parks are off.
Yeah, my boy hates it. My boy hates it now.
I'd be absolutely devastated.
I can still remember having a 3-match ban in the under-16s now because that was torture.
Yeah.
Torture. 3 weeks watching football.
I do it now. I do it now when I have a look at, trying to look with a club, trying to go, right, okay, looking at the weather. The weather's shit the next 10 days, right?
Yeah.
We'll play 3G Saturday. I want to get 3G next week. We'll get a game on. Because we looked at it last winter. My boys played middle of November on your birthday. 16 Saturdays later, we're playing against top of the league.
My eldest is the same, mate. He's just gone into under 12s now. But last year, didn't play for ages.
16 weeks.
They had a big.
You're on 3G Saturday, aren't you?
We are on 3G.
I just had a flashback to last Saturday night with the free bar. I'm sure I agreed to referee this game Saturday because you're playing Landrumney.
Jerry's referee.
Yeah, but he didn't want him to.
my boy's old team is Landrumney. He's at Pomfret. I just playing against his old team Saturday.
Rather you have flashbacks
on 3G.
I've gone. I'm sure I've agreed to ref Saturday.
Whatever, whoever, I don't care who's reffing. But yeah.
If anyone ever wants me to agree to anything, just give me 6 pints of Stella.
But we've pre-booked the game for 3G on Saturday, and we've got our club saying, but the parks aren't off yet. I'm like, no, but they're going to be in there, right? It's going to be, look at the weather. Let's preempt the game on the 3G. Let's give the kids a game.
Yeah.
You know, you went 5-0 in the first game of the season. Last week's off. Let's get a game of football on this week.
I don't know what, like you say, it's probably off topic now, but it's always the thing in it, what do they do about it though?
I've seen an email this week where they've said, Cardiff District have said there's only 51 pitches available in the whole of Cardiff for a Saturday morning kids
This
league.
is one for where we get Councillor Bridgman on for the Lee Bridgman episode, and he can tell us all the bullshit reasons as to why we've gone from 200 football pitches in Cardiff to about 12.
Well, you look at now, Blackweir was obviously is gone because of the concerts out in the summer. They've seeded the pitch. They've not had any rain. They've now had a deluge. They won't have it ready till December, and they've now confirmed they're doing Blackweir again next summer.
But Pontcanna, when you were a kid, maybe you would have seen it. But Pontcanna, when we were kids and when we were playing with,
out of the dressing rooms, up over the
more than that.
Pitch.
You know, as far down as the cricket ground at Sophia Gardens, there were pitches as far down as that on the river. It was something. I can't remember who told me it, but it was a couple of weeks ago in conversation somewhere. Someone told me that there used to be once 41 pitches at Pontcanna. What is it now? Like 6? Wow.
That's where obviously I used to go and watch my dad on a Saturday and a Sunday morning, and it would always be Pontcanna, Tralee. Fucking hundreds of pitches over there.
Tralee, that's another one.
You used to have to share changing rooms in Pontcanna with another team.
That's right.
You know Trelee's dressing rooms now? It's a boxing gym.
It's mad, mate. I know.
Good laugh when you go there though for football. I used to go watch the seconds with Land Rumney there at the times. You get in that boxing ring, it's great fun, like, especially if you've got like a 4-year-old. Fucking body slap.
My job when I used to go watch my dad's was I would collect all the kit and chuck it in the back.
Right.
But like you'd have 2 teams in the one dressing room and there's kit fucking everywhere.
Someone else's socks and all sorts.
I remember Sunday League football shared in change rooms. So before we move on to some Twitter questions, so that was it. Was it that fallout?
Yeah, I fell out with Kays over that, and then the following week the Dracs had to beat Camam. It was a shootout. Dracs. I was never playing in that game because I had a family holiday anyway. It was like 31st of May. I thought our season's finished. We were going away for my daughter's birthday. I was never playing that game anyway.
I'm critical of players for when they pick holidays. 31st of May, I'll give you that.
Mate, to be fair,
I'll give you that.
My miss, she'll back me up. Like we go away and I'd drive back for games. Like we'd be down the caravan. I'd drive back to play on a Wednesday night. Drive straight back.
No, but 31st of May.
Yeah,
it's a joke, isn't it?
After
bank holiday in May, it's a joke.
We played that game I said about Port Talbot. Port Talbot, we played them the 24th of May, say. Their last game before that was like the 4th of April. They had to wait 6 weeks to play us.
And they were already gone.
They were fucking gone, yeah. Or they might have stayed up. I think that season they were up. They went the following season.
Right, but they became a shambles, so they were getting smashed every week.
They got 6 weeks without a game. We were going to beat them regardless. And then it was a shootout. Drax Camam and the boys won 3-0.
So what do you feel about after having gone, had the career you've had in South Wales, in Tier 2 predominantly, then a bit of Tier 4 and 3 and stuff? Like, what do you look back at it now? Do you wish you'd finished after the cup final? Because that's how I...
Now I do,
managerially,
we lost, so...
I look back myself and think I wish I'd finished after the Land Rumney losing in the cup final to Corrie's on penalties.
Which is when I finished, and I told him in the February, I said, I've had enough. I've had enough with the kids.
Hindsight, if I could have known, and the same across Caerau. When we didn't get promoted on the last day of the season, we drew and we needed to win.
Should have gone.
Nah, I just think...
We should have got, like, in hindsight, I wish I'd gone then, because then the relationships and stuff that I had at that club would have been a lot better than they were for a couple of years before we made up.
In hindsight, yes, I wish I did leave after the cup final, because that last season was just... It wasn't really a full season. It wasn't a full season. It was turning up at half time, and missing so many games because my boy's football. It was, and then the way it ended just ended sour, mate. And I just, do you know what I mean? I got so much respect for so many people at this club, and for a good 4 or 6 weeks, I was quite resentful. Like, do you know what I mean? Because
it's good that you were able to only leave it at 4 or 6 weeks, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
is it easier because it's your local, and at the end of the day,
yeah, it
it's
is.
more to life?
Yeah, it is, 100%. Like, and to be fair, when Nana took over then, I had every intention. Nana wanted me to just carry on and whatever, and I knew, mate. I was, you know, don't get me wrong. He dropped me for that Port Albert game, and if I'm honest, I would probably drop myself. But it was the fact that he told me I was playing.
It's the cardinal sin, mate, for any manager.
Because I just wasn't fit enough, mate, at the time. I wasn't fit enough.
Yeah. But never promise a player anything, and they're never going to be able to throw "you said" back in your face.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the mistake there. It's not the decision to drop you, because you've just said it's probably the right one.
But there's no way I couldn't have stopped after losing that cup final, especially the way we lost it. It was just, no
it's a big thing with the kids though as well. Like, it was a big motivation for me finishing is when the kids go from non-competitive football to competitive and start becoming
everything
proper football as well.
Everything for my boy now is on a Sunday, so
exactly.
It wouldn't have fucking mattered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
God, don't say that. Your phone will start ringing. No.
No chance, mate. I couldn't. No chance.
So let's hit a couple of Twitter questions. So I've got some written down here, and then I've got a special section that you shouldn't dread, because you'll have when I get to it, you'll have a smile on your face about it, right? So you'll have seen some of these because they're on public, others are on DM. So I've picked my favourites. So number one, was Tom Wellington as good as he says he was?
No, the first time I played against Welly was when he was at Bryn Terry. I always used to think, Lido or Bryn Terry, one of the two. I always used to think he was an angry little fucker.
Yeah.
He's, what is he, 4 foot fucking 2. But he was a good player, to be fair.
I remember the first time I saw him play, he was at Bryn Terry, first time I saw him play. And
I think when Lido Bryn Terry, because he's at the Swans, only for ages.
Yeah, he stuck out to me. I thought, like, that's a good player there.
I can always,
straight away.
I always remember Samo had him at Swansea.
Yeah.
So when Samo was manager at Taffs and we'd play against Bryn Terry, he always used to say to me, you're up against it today.
Yeah.
Against Welly. And it was always a battle.
Is he a boxer? I remember that right.
I still speak to him now. We're in a WhatsApp group now, me, him, Togsy, a few of us for Wales away games and that. And he's a real nice kid as well. But he was a boxer, mate.
I rate him.
He's at I think he's assistant manager or manager at Tata now.
Tata still, is he really? I didn't know.
I think he might be the manager, but he's down as assistant because of badges and all that shit.
Yeah.
Which
cut that bit out. Fucking badges, Jesus Christ.
But to answer your question, he was a good player.
So this might be one of those. I just picked it out, right, because of who sent it. But like, if this makes no sense to you, just say, have you ever been compared to Officer Doofy from Scary Movie?
That's, Luke Cox, do you? The one who was at Lansquith?
I don't find him funny either. So
he came to the blacks for a bit and he finds himself hysterical.
He does find himself hysterical, yeah.
Yeah, well. That's his own there.
Yeah, weird guy. He'd be all over me on Twitter. That'll be it. So, what else we got? We've already covered the Cymru Premier referee. Why is someone asking what's the best pair of boots you've ever had? I was just intrigued as to why someone was asking.
Is that to do with your mouldies?
Is that to do
I always wore Copas, always. Copas, well, from the age of about 20 to about 33, it was Copas all the way.
I got it with my boy, right? So, he's 14, going on 15. Go in the sports shop. Let's have a look at boots, Dad, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. 190 pair over there. And I literally pick a pair of coppers and I pair them World Cups and go, then. No, I'm not having any of this shit.
I started buying the mixed-sole ones for a bit. I did used to always buy a pair of studs. I couldn't wear World Cups because my feet were too fat. World Cups are always narrower than Copers for some reason. So I'd always buy a pair of studs, and I'd wear them if I had to. But it was always Copers for me. I don't know what that. There's no special reason.
I thought there must be some
There's
story.
no special
Yeah,
reason, no.
Because you were saying, I think it was before we turned the cameras on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You never used to...
I'd always wear Copers.
But you wouldn't wear studs, you said?
Couldn't wear studs.
But when did that change then, when you signed for Taffs? Because that was like
probably after Bridgie subbed me a couple of times.
I was going to say, that was like a fucking allotment, Taffs Well.
We played Bryn Tyrion on Friday night, and he was fucking chucking it down. And he was like, you can't go out with them. I was like, well, I haven't got nothing else. So anyway, I slipped over once in the first half, nearly cost us a goal. And then second half, 10 minutes in, I've gone to clip the ball at the line, and my standing foot's give way, and he just subbed me straight away. So I think I bought a pair of studs just in case. But it'd have to be bad for me to wear them.
We talk about that. No, I haven't got studs, bruv, and all of that nonsense, right? And it was playing against you down at Taffs that day when I said I thought, something's happening here, right? And Cash Patel.
Yeah, it was minging, wasn't it?
I haven't got studs. And he fell flat on his face, and Topper ran through, and it was 1-0. And Della Chidi half time. I like Kesh.
I used to love Della, mate.
I don't know if you know Kesh very well, right? But Kesh Patel's a lovely lad.
Yeah.
And Della went for him half time. I didn't have to speak.
He was a scary fella, Della, wasn't he?
Oh, what a man.
I got so much time for him. I used to speak to him after games all the time.
I swear to God, salt of the earth. That
really nice guy.
Absolute legend. And like, I think you had to be a certain type of character to be able to play. And I saw it when he was my number 2 at Celtic. The lads that had grown up with him and knew how full on he was and how demanding he was and everything else, worshipped the ground he walked on, right? You bring lads in from outside and it would be 50-50. If they can take it, they now worship the ground he walks on. But the other 50%, maybe in old money we'd call it maybe a bit soft.
Yeah.
And I can picture 3 or 4 now that we brought in when I was at Celtic that just went.
Did you bring many in from Cardiff when you were at Celtic?
No, we brought.
Or did you want to keep it as local as you could?
Well, we didn't need to. When I was honestly, when I went in, I felt so lucky to be taking over that squad when I went in there, and we went on a hell of a run. And our biggest problem was we just ran out of strikers.
Yeah.
Scott Lanyon was kicked out by the committee against my wishes, to be honest. But I hadn't been there that long to be able to fight against it because he got a red card.
Yeah.
So, who hasn't had a red card? Granted, I get that it was at the end of history. My mate Brangley lasted 2 weeks with me, something like that, before we had an almighty clash, and I rang Bryn Tyrion and said, if you want him back, you can have him. But he was about to ring him anyway, so...
Do you think that... Obviously,
but then Nana got injured, and Shane Williamson shot himself in the foot with a gun.
You had Nana, didn't you?
So Nana's knee buckled, and Shane Williamson shot himself in the foot with a rifle. So from having Prangley, Lanyon, Nana, and Shane Williamson,
you went to nothing.
No strikers for 4 months. But so no, we didn't need to bring many players in. But even the ones we did that were local, half of them thrived under it because it was standards. The ones that were maybe a little bit, I would describe as maybe weaker in the mind and maybe needed more of a cuddle than they would struggle.
It always seemed to me Celtic as like a team who was like that, really, like
100%.
Not outsiders weren't welcome, but wouldn't really fit in.
No, I've got to be fair. When we brought in Nana, we brought in Dominic Broad, they welcomed them like they lived round the corner, so it wasn't that. It wasn't like that at all. They were all real good lads, they really were.
Who's the kid who played left back for him for years?
Billy,
Richard Prince.
Or left wing back, Dom Connor or something. Did he play for him for years?
I signed Dom Connor.
Didn't he play in your youth team?
No, Dom Connor, we signed him from Caldicott.
Ah, okay. I thought he was a Cardiff
So I was trying to sign him
player.
for Cross Caerau Ely.
Yeah.
Got the sack from Cross Caerau Ely.
Yeah.
10 days later, I'm installed at Cwmbran Celtic. He's gone training across at Caerau, and I've intercepted it and signed him at Celtic. And he went on to play there for years.
He's a fucking great player, that boy.
Brilliant lad and a real good player.
Yeah?
Real good player, yeah.
But yeah, Richie Crease was...
Honest lad, Richie Crease.
I always remember him thinking, because he was quite small, wasn't he? But fuck me, he could jump
He was
in the air.
outstanding, yeah. And I think he went on to play
Yeah,
centrally for
Yeah,
Aberdeen, didn't he?
yeah, we played
Yeah.
against the Drax.
Although I am a little bit worried. I've seen him on Twitter and he's into his conspiracy theories. Have you seen that?
Oh,
A little bit
no, I
worried
haven't
about
seen
Billy there, but but the special section to finish, and it's the Darren Buttle section.
Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go.
So Daz has
He's trying to go
sent
with
in
45
few bits, right?
How many
So
questions?
if Daz has asked the question, it's obviously okay to answer it, right?
Okay,
So there are
that's
no
fine.
political answers
that's
now.
fine. Okay.
We'll save that for when Bridgie's sat in the chair. Right. So he says Eggy's asked his initiation for new players.
So when we used to sign a new player at the Drax, their first game, I used to play football just shorts, no boxers, no undershorts, anything.
Right.
So I would, and I used to suffer from chub rub, so I used to Vaseline myself like mad. So any new players, that was their job, was to Vaseline me.
Pre-game?
Yeah, pre-game.
Fuck
So
you,
before the
man.
warm-up,
Wow.
I'd
I was expecting you to say you had to stand in here and fucking walk up and play, have a game of
a few of them,
bollock naked
a few
or
of
something.
them decline, but majority accept.
Can you imagine these days? You'd be up on some sort of charge by
Yeah, that's right,
sex
yeah.
test.
No, yeah. This was pre-2000.
This is the captain. This is the captain. There's some Vaseline.
All the best, son. Get in there. Get in all the crevices.
You'd see some of them, like some of them I knew obviously weren't going to do it, innit? Like, but there was some I knew who probably would. But the one that when Togsy signed, for example, I knew Togsy'd have no bones about it. He'd just, yeah, give me that. But then there's some who he'd sign and you knew they weren't expecting it.
What me upside?
They were like, they would freeze, and I'd be like, I'm only joking.
If you want to do it, crack on.
And then over here, then afterwards, it'd be the 6 halves.
Right.
They'd have to do.
Wow.
That's the real one. But the other one was just a bonus.
Fucking brilliant, that.
So next one, ask him what were the odds like for an away game for Taffs Well against Haverfordwest. I remember this.
So this was when we just started getting
Yeah.
good.
You would have, excellent.
So I think we'd lost our first game of the season. I think. Anyway,
This was
when Haverfordwest
our
had just come
last
down.
year across the Caerau, because we played them in the cup.
Oh,
They
Haverfordwest,
just come down from
Yeah,
the
they
Welsh
just come
Premier,
down, yeah.
and you went down
I think
to
we
play
played
it.
them like second or third game of the season.
And they were favourites for the league, weren't they?
Massive, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had just signed, in that week, Topper, Nathan White, and someone else. We'd lost to someone, I think, but Joey Evans wasn't available that game.
Wasn't Dicko, was it?
Dicko might have been there, actually. Anyway, we were 5-1 to beat Haverfordwest away, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, it's a bit of me, that. So I'm on the bus, got my book out, all the boys are jumping on it. Like, I think me and my old man had got on it early. We had quite a bit on it, and a few of the boys were having like 20s, 30s. Bus driver got on it, so we had a bus to everywhere. The bus driver's got on it. He's like, what are yours? He's like, I'll have 20 on as well. So we beat them 4-1.
Yeah.
We were 5-1
Yeah.
to beat them 4-1. So obviously back then it was play Saturday, you get your envelope for that Saturday, the following Saturday.
Yeah.
So that following Saturday or Friday night or whatever it was, the boys all had 2 envelopes. But obviously I had to pay the bus driver up front before we left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't believe the odds, mate. It was crazy.
Mad.
And we absolutely
That
passed
same
them off the
season
pitch.
as well, you've beaten them down there, and I still remember this now to this day, because it's just an indication of just the fucking bravery of Bridgie sometimes in his.
I know
when
what
you're playing
gonna
him
say,
at
I know what
home,
you're gonna
you've
say.
gone down to 9. And it's like 1-1 or something.
I got sent off. Yeah.
Gone down to 9. It's 1-1. The score might be wrong.
We beat them 3-1.
And he's taken off a defender and put on a striker, and you've won 3-1.
We won 3-1. I got sent. Mate, funny story. We play Haverfordwest. I got sent off. Don't think it was a sending off, but none of the ones I had, I didn't think anyway. but I don't think it was. And then I can't remember who got sent off after. I think Dicko got sent off, then I got sent off just after him. We're down to 9. And then I've had a shower, come out, and he's, like you say, he's taken off the centre half. And he's chucked, I think he brought on a midfielder, but top it up top on his own.
Right.
Top has gone on and scored, and then we won 3-1. The following season, we're 3-1 up. This was the year we should have beaten Monmouth we should have won the league.
Yeah.
We're 3-1 up. I've got sent off, gone in the change room. They pull it back to 3-3, and I know Bridgie's going to fucking ruin me in the change room.
Yeah.
Joey Evans scores an absolute fucking screamer in the 97th minute. And I'm in my tracks, I'm on the pitch, on top of everyone's on top of everyone. Yeah, so 2 years running I got sent off for a tackle against Haverford, and I shouldn't have.
Darren also says, serious question from me, so you ready for this now? Because you thought they were all just going to be taking a piss, didn't you? So, was there a player you faced and you'd think, I'm in for a tough afternoon?
Yeah, there's a couple. Liam Williams was always one.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Because we were always up against each other. Like, we were both kind of similar. At Taffs, when I used to sit, I always used to feel Dane would play in the 10 for them, like, or the 8. Do you know what I mean? So I was always up against him.
When you said him, immediately I thought, do you know what? I bet he was a nightmare. Because that third man run.
Yeah, 100%. He was always doing that.
But his timing of it.
Yeah, and mate, he was such a good player as well.
Oh, quality.
So good.
Yeah.
And around that time, we never really got the better of Cam Bryan.
Yeah.
It was only the cup final where we really got the better of him. And then from that cup final, it was like it gave us a bit of confidence. But for about a 2-year, 3-year period, we could never get the better of him.
You know, you've probably seen me say already on a few episodes, I think the best Welsh League team I ever personally saw was the Goitra team with Richie Ryan and Meacock and all that lot. The only other ones I ever think of in my own mind as a debate was that Cam Bryan team when they won the league. Yeah. I thought they were fantastic.
The Goitra team, you had people like Dale Price and Steve Connolly. Darren Lyons was horrible.
Awesome.
But I was just starting then, but when I used to play against Cam Bryan and Dane, I was 23, 24, so I was I peaked quite early, so I was kind of like the best I was, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I tell you one, who back when I used to play centre forward, remember Buster?
Oh.
What's his name? What was his name? Ian.
I don't think anyone knows.
Mate,
I don't think his teammates know.
Mate, I can remember my first ever Welsh League appearance. My first ever Welsh League appearance was against Goitra when they were on like a 14-game winning run.
Yeah.
And I think I played 10 minutes, whatever. Following season, I plays up there. I started, and I'm up against this centre half. I think, oh fuck, I've got a bit of a chance today, innit? He's this short, chubby fella. I was thinking, fuck, mate. He would jump for a header, right? He would win the header whilst having his fingers in your mouth, his studs down your calf, and he'd head it past the halfway line. You know, I was like, what the fuck?
Mad thing with him, right? We talked about him, right? Over the years, where we go on about the amount of times, and I 15 years later, when you go on about Gareth would say, as the ball's being kicked from the opposition keeper, his keeper's going, Buster, win the ball, and it's that whole, as is there, Buster, bang!
You must have played against
15 years later.
It's a fair bit.
The goalie, yeah.
I can hear him now ringing in my ears. Buster, shove it went on his head, Buster! And he would every single time.
But I talk to my kids now 15 years later and say, I used to be involved in a guy who used to literally just go, Buster, bang!
It was all timing, wasn't it? Reading of the game, where it was going to be, and timing. I always remember when I was coaching at Dinas Powys when Jonah was the manager, and he played Lima up front against him because he knew how good Buster was in the air.
It's a mismatch.
And it got to about 20 minutes in, right? You know, Lima's 6 foot 3?
Yeah.
And Buster's 5 foot, not that much, right?
I can see how that's
And Jonah, of course, Lima has had a great career in Welsh football as well, quality player. And Jonah's gone to him after about 20 minutes. And of course, to me at the time, young coach like Lima is like, oh, that's great, Lima. And Jonas looked at him and gone, you're 5-0 down, mind. And Lima's looked at him like, and Jonas gone, you're on one header, not one. 5-0 down you are. And the ball comes forward, dunk. He'd go, 6-0. No, Jonas wasn't like that with anyone else, but because he knew Lima's experience and quality, it was harder on him. Because he knew, if you don't win the odd header here, we're in trouble. And I think he got to about 8-0 before Lima actually won one.
Tell you what, mate, that goes for a team, though.
Quality, mate.
It would have been Meacock and Buster centre-halves. Like, Meacock was horrible as well.
They went to wing-backs in the end because they had Darren Lyons at the back as well at one point, and then Jacob Daly was one of the wing-backs.
Was that Michael Waters?
Connetty, Michael Waters played for him.
Dale Price.
And they had Jefferson Richard up front, and oh my God. Ryan Sugars was
Like, remember when they won it might have been the year after Aberdare won it, or Aberhaman won it, and Goitra won it that year, didn't he? And when we played at Taffs, we were Samo, and we beat them 4-1 at home. Summers and Richie Ryan would have been up front.
Yeah.
And we absolutely battered them that day.
Yeah, that's an incredible result, because that was a hell of a side.
We absolutely battered them that day.
That is a hell
and that's when I knew. That's when I knew we were going in the right direction with Taffs. That team would have been like Dean Maynard, Big Z, and people like that.
Yeah.
And we were doing well then. I knew we were on the way up.
It was a good side, but do you know why? It doesn't surprise me you say, but because anyone that's played forward at that time, I would think would answer that question the same. They would say.
I always remember playing Goitra, and you always used to think playing the game, you're on top here, you're on top. But Richie Ryan would score. Richie Ryan, you'd lose 4-3. You play really well, you'd lose 4-3. Richie Ryan would score 3.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck we lost that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the thing I used to feel when playing them all the time. No,
never gave in, ever.
No, never.
Like when we were talking to Di Morgan, he was talking about the game where we were 3-1 up in what we thought at the time was a title decider. We're 3-1 up down there with about 15 minutes to go. 10 minutes later, fucking 5-3 down.
That's bedlam.
You know, in a top of the table clash like that, with a team like Aberdare that were just full of experience and quality.
Was Richie with you then, or with them?
With Aberdare, yeah.
But that was nice for him, wasn't it?
Well, he said in his episode he scored to make it 3-1 at Goitra, and he's Klinsmann in front of their dugout, so they're all going mental because he said he was sort of saying, well, now I'm here now. This is my club now, so I'm going to give it to you because I've had a bit of stick off you. And then 12 minutes later, he's 5-3 down, wishing he was dead.
He signed for us at Taffs, didn't he?
Yeah. Coming towards the end, though, he said that
he was, and that's another one. If we'd signed the Richie for maybe a year previous, we'd have won the league that
100%. Yeah.
But you could just see little snippets, and he was, you could see. I knew how good he was anyway, because obviously the amount of goals playing against him, he'd always score. But he was.
So the last question from the bottle phase here now is, and the opposite to what I just asked you, is there an opponent that you used to think like, I'm actually quite looking forward to this? Not that it'll be easy, but I get a better at this guy. Because I've had managers like it, that even when they've done better than me as a manager, I've always kind of felt I have their number. But I can think of one manager that I'm thinking, every time I play against this fucker, they beat me. Even though he's never done anything, he's never won anything, he's never really. But 4 times I've played him, 4 times he's had me.
I don't know, to be honest. There probably is. I'm just trying to think. Off the top of my head, I can't really think. I tell you one thing that does spring to mind, which is probably not like I used to go into the game thinking, but a goalkeeper for Elliot Matthews.
Yeah.
So when we were in the Ardell, we played. When we started off in the Ardell, he was at Caerau, and we had a penalty, and I took a penalty, and he was giving it the big one, and I scored it. 2 weeks later, before the window, he signs for Dennis Powys. Dennis Powys was throwing money around then. Signed for Dennis Powys. We played him in the league. We beat him 6-1. I scored a hat-trick. 2 of them were penalties, but 1 of them had to be retaken. And I'd scored all 3.
Right, okay.
And he was still giving me the big one. And then we played him later on in the season, I scored another penalty. And then the following season, he was playing for Harris, and I scored another penalty against him. But he was always giving it the big one. And I always, and that's the one thing, and I always...
Did that used to motivate you then, when he did
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Because I used to love that
100%.
when I was playing a long time ago. But do you remember, we've spoken about Ben Fletcher when we did Rod's episode, but I lost my shit with Ben Fletcher once, who was our
goalkeeper,
at Lamwern. Because Brendan Scott used to play for Risca.
Yeah.
And Brendan Scott, Risca were one of our rivals for promotion and that sort of thing. And Brendan Scott used to score a shitloads of goals from midfield.
Yeah.
And we've gone a goal up down at Risca, and Fletcher has decided, for whatever reason, he's going to start chopsing off at Brendan Scott on his home ground. So, of course, Brendan Scott bangs one in from the edge of the box with about 2 minutes left, and he's screaming and shouting. He's in our dugout. He's giving it all this to Fletcher. And after the game, I've gone, "You've done that. He hasn't had a kick all game. You've started mouthing at him, and now all of a sudden he's interested."
It's funny.
Did he do that to you?
It's funny, yeah. And also, Barry Town. So we were at Taffs Friday night, pissing down with rain. It's always pissing down with rain on a Friday night.
I was going to say, that's my mental picture of Taffs Well, is
so Barry Town would always,
in the ring.
Barry Town would always bring loads of people in it. So I think we're 1-0 down at half time, and I've gone into a tackle by the dugout, the new stand by the dugouts, and they're all calling me fat, whatever, innit?
Anyone in particular, or you
no,
mean
just
the
the
fans?
group of, the fans, the group of them, innit?
That lot
Gavin was like giving his son, whatever.
That lot that used to bin. They turn up, they bang a weed.
Yeah.
They were in the San Siro.
So anyway, we equalised 1-1, and it's 5 minutes to go. I picked the ball up like 30 yards out, took a touch, shot, just skidded off it and gone straight in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
I've turned, I've just run straight to him, took my top off, and I'm just going, "Fatty!" Gavin's having a go at me, saying, "What, you can't do that, you can't do that." And I'm just thinking, "No, do you know what? Fuck you, innit? You've given it to me, fucking take it back."
Yeah.
But there was always an old guy at Barry, always, and whenever I played down Jenner Park or played Barry at home, or if he went to watch a game, he'd always give me a sweet. So I'd walk out to warm up or whatever, or after, he'd always give me a sweet. It was an old fella, I think he passed away recently.
It is.
Yeah, and he'd always give me a sweet.
I actually always really liked them. I take the piss there, but about the bin and stuff. But I actually always really liked them, and because I think the difference between, especially when they were in the Welsh League, and they had that double relegation nonsense that should never have happened to them. And there was I remember saying at the time they were getting a lot of shit online.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, guys, what you guys don't realise is, you support Lanramley United and Cardiff City, or Lanbraddock and
they support
Liverpool.
Barry and Barry only.
They support Barry Town. That's their passion in life. Whereas you, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, and I hope Lanramley win.
Yeah.
Like, they support Barry Town.
Barry Town.
I could have gone there.
Anything that they ever do like that, I always remember that. They are proper fans of Barry Town, not, I go and watch Pencoed on Saturday, but Liverpool's my team.
They took
Barry is their team.
That club got absolutely fucked by Lovering, didn't they?
Yeah, of course
and they literally took that from, and he's a proper Phoenix, they took it from, he left it in the shit.
Yeah, 100%. Like Gavin, it's fair dues. Like, you've got to give Gavin and the people like the committee and that so much respect for what they've done, dragging them up from where they were. Because they could have quite easily just gone, couldn't they?
You sort of about Gavin going, that's there. Dean Morris mentioned him as well. I really like Gavin as a bloke, and massively always respected him.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He was, I think I said on a previous episode, he was always the one I was a bit wary of, because even if I was 2 up, I'd never thought it was over. He'd do something that I won't spot if I'm not really switched on, and it would be the difference. And but people used to say, I used to say this with Bridgie back in the day, where me and Bridgie would have a reputation with referees. And I'd be like, yeah, Gavin Chesterfield's a lovely guy, isn't he? And everyone in Welsh football goes, oh yeah, top man. I'd be like, yeah, I agree. He's had 3 times more red cards than I have.
Is he?
And people go, no way! I'm like, look up the records, guys. Because my rep would, like I say, WhatsApp groups called Gareth. There's no WhatsApp groups called Gavin Chesterfield, right? But yeah, that's true. That
I could have. probably is a slight regret, I suppose. I probably could have gone there. Well, I know I could.
When was that though? When could you?
When I was Samuel's manager at Taffs.
Right.
It was probably the season, so Samuel left probably in the October. So
yeah, but that would have been in the Lovering era. And
no, I think it wasn't. I don't know if it was.
Because
they were on their way back up. They were.
No, because we were at Lamwern by the time they were in Division 3, got on the way back up. So
definitely.
So I'd been at Crossy. So when you think about it, by the time I was at Cumbrian Celtic, which is before Lamwern, Bridgie was in. Bridgie and Buttle were in 2012. So if it was when Samuel was there, they were a good team. They had Parky and people like that playing for them.
He was
they were a good side, but they were never going to get back to where they wanted to get to with Lovering in charge.
Yeah. And he just said to me, he said, look, I can't offer you the money Taffs are offering you, but I can offer you like a licensed coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's the main reason you're staying at Taffs? And I just said, because of Samo, basically.
Yeah, but also, like I say, it was fairly well accepted at the time, that money thing being one of the bits of evidence for that. It was never going to go any further than Welsh League Division 1 at the time. Lovering had to
100%,
for them to be able to go back and be what they should always have been, which was a Welsh Premier League club.
No, 100%.
So I get it. If it had happened differently years later, when Lovering had gone and they owned their own club and the supporters were running it and stuff like that, then that might have been a harder decision for you.
Oh yeah. I remember the 7-day thing. Is that still a thing now? 7 days.
It's 3 days now.
I always remember Tom Pentra for 7 days in for me. Mark Sampson rang me. He goes, just want to give you a heads up. We've had a 7-day interview from Tom Pentra. So I knew anyway, because obviously Tugsy was at Tom Pentra. And I was like, so what happens now then? He went, well, when their manager rings you, tell them to fuck off.
Dean Morris, is it?
No, Kevin Richards would be manager at the time.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, when he rings you, you just tell him to fuck off. I was like, oh, okay.
It doesn't work like that now.
I know.
What happens now, right, because obviously I'm on the administrative side with Land and Lee, what happens now is someone goes to a pub on a Saturday night and someone does that. A few text messages later, you get a ping on your email that, oh, there's a transfer request from Abercwm Suchan for this player.
Fucking mad.
And you're like, oh, wow. And you text the player and you go, what's all this about? Because you know that conversation has already taken place.
It's mad, mate.
You may as well just get rid of all the rules and just...
It's like my brother last year. So my brother was at Bridgend Street, started off at Bridgend Street.
Yeah.
And he was in and out of the team. He went on all day and what have you. And then Taffs Well came in for him, and he was his old manager. He was his old coach at Abervalley. They signed him, mate, because they just needed bodies in because they lost a lot of players in January.
Yeah.
He played 3 minutes and left. Couldn't sign for anyone else. Bridgend Street. It's fucking mad, isn't it?
He's a Treforest now, isn't he?
He's at Treforest now. Dean, he's doing well, mate. I speak to Dean about it.
I saw he scored and got sent off the other day. Shock.
Follows his dad and his brother.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ, yeah. So you're, wasn't he at Abervalley for a bit?
Yeah, he's doing really well at Abervalley, mate.
I fancied him up there. I thought that might be a real good fit for him.
I said he should have gone back. When he signed for Bridgend Street, I said he should have gone back to Abervalley.
Right.
But I don't know. He's happy at Treforest now. He's enjoying
it.
Yeah, he just needs to play, mate. Just as long as he plays. He's a good player, really good player, mate. He scores goals.
Well,
just needs to keep
I should hope so.
Just needs to stop
with you and Barry. Jesus Christ.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he found hard here. Because he was...
You're buggered with our surname.
He was here, mate.
Yeah, you're in trouble with our surname.
And he more than justified himself to be playing. He was scoring goals. You look back on Comet, he was scoring goals for fun, right? And then I think we signed Togsy in the January. And I think the management kind of felt obliged to play Togsy because we just signed him and my brother got left out and what have you. And I just think my brother just wanted a fresh start. He wanted to go from here.
So
everyone used to compare him to me and Barry.
He's managing the son of Barry Gunstone and the son of Chris Summers.
Oh yeah, and the son of Chris Summers, yeah. Not bad, is it?
Yeah, some good bloodlines in there. There's some pressure on those two.
They should score some goals this year, shouldn't they?
There'll be a few cards coming as well, won't it?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Well, if they don't get promoted, it's all down to the manager. That's what I say to you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Mate, it's been a pleasure. We could talk to you all night. Thank
No
you very
worries,
much.
thank you.